like me, you're married and you live in a house or apartment, I guess, anything. So, you have a significant other that doesn't really care too much for the mess you leave everywhere. I used to work all around tables, kitchen, dining room, wherever I could find a table. Wives hate that. Don't know if anyone's noticed that. So, my compromise is my mini man cave. Ooh, it looks like nothing. But, this is where I've been doing all my work. I've allowed this corner in my house. And I'm about to move, actually, which is pretty sweet. I'm going to get my own man cave. But, I'm actually working in this mini man cave here, I'm going to call it. It's actually a computer armoire. So, let's open it up and take a look and see what kind of mess I keep in here. It's a disaster. But, it's okay. So, let's break it down. Okay, hopefully the glare is not too bad. But, as you can see, this is just a regular computer armoire. Alright? So here's your drawer, right down here, where you normally have your keyboard. Now when I got this, I actually got it off Walmart.com. But really, you can find any computer armoire for anywhere. And this is pretty cheap. I think this was like $110 shipped to my door. It's cheap. I did leave some of the shelving out, because obviously I'm not keeping a computer in here. But you have a small drawer, alright? Okay. So you got plenty of space to actually work on the quad. As you can see, I was able to actually push it underneath and leave it. I'm in the middle of the process of doing some upgrades to this one here. I have my soldering equipment here. Okay. You can see I'm just throwing junk in here because I'm kind of in a state of trying to keep the house clean for selling. But I have everything in my little baggies. Got these here. All my tools are kept up, for the most part, pretty organized right up here. I have a magnetic strip. You can get these at, I got this one actually at Walmart too, Walmart, the actual physical store, but Harbor Freight, anywhere else sells them, anywhere from $4 to $10 depending on where you get it. But for the most part, all my tools, except for, obviously, those three down there are not magnetic. So, they're down there. Soldering iron, I got a Harbor Freight clamp. Actually, I use this a lot to just clamp anything that I need to keep from moving. Okay, up here, fluorescent light strip. I added that in as well. Oh, Bluetooth speaker, you need that to jam out, and of course a Lego Stormtrooper clock. That's always helpful. I keep my fan up here, not necessarily for heat, because I get hot, but more or less to blow the smoke away from soldering. Then it has these little adjustable shelves in this one too, so I got my scale and some junk in there. Plastic bins, I keep everything fairly organized. I have, like, you know, transmitters in here, antenna leads, my cables, wires in this one, and down here is motor parts. Got these little side storage bins here. These are also from Harbor Freight. Okay, and you get these little strips. I did have to cut them down here to fit. Actually, they're supposed to be a bigger bank, and you can see actually some of them are kind of bowing. And it's only because there's no support. Below here, there's actually a gap, and my son made me this to help tell me what kind of quad or octo or tricopter I'm using. Helpful, you might need that. Like I said, I got another magnetic strip down here. Had to angle this one just because of the length, but for the most part, I'm able to keep everything at hand's reach, right? And it's a pretty decent workspace. Like I said, this is, you know, a 250 style quad. It fits on here nicely. Really, if you wanted to, you could probably put an extension on this drawer, another shelf on top. But unless you're not working on really big things, like, you know, up on top, you know, my big hex up here, that I kind of have to put on my lap sometimes to do some work on it. But for the most part, everything else fits really nice in here. Down below, I opted to not put the tower storage and other stuff in there, so I have all my other bins. Hardware, normally I wouldn't have these cardboard boxes down here, but I'm forced to clean up right now. So I wanted to show it kind of in a state of mess to an extent, so you can see that it is actually easy to kind of tuck it all in. Go ahead and shut that here. Seal it all up. Like I said, it's a small little man cave, but you won't get in trouble for taking up table space. and you can kind of close it up. And this doesn't take up much room at all. Alright, so I hope that kind of give you a little overview, maybe a little bit of confidence boost, maybe you can convince your significant other, roommate, whoever, that if I get one of these sweet little dealios here, that you can keep all your stuff in one spot instead of scattering all over the kitchen table, which I prefer because it gives me a lot more room to work. But when you're kind of limited in space, this right here, you know, is a pretty good option. I can sit here, turn my speaker on, work, you know. It is a small space, but if you have storage cubbies and spots for all your tools to keep yourself organized, like if you have spots to keep zip ties, cables, test leads, whatever you normally use within a good reach, makes for a more efficient working time. You don't have to dig around for stuff. I use little magnetic parts trays and stuff, so really, it looks like a mess. It is a mess. But I can find everything that I use regularly to work on a quad, besides my miscellaneous little bits I got thrown around now. But hopefully, maybe in a month or two, I can make a video and show you my new shop whenever I get it built up. But this will hopefully give you some pretty slick ideas. Like I said, I'll try to find some links for where I got everything at, but like I said, for the most part, just look for a computer Armoire. Craigslist, you don't have to get a new one, obviously. I got this one using coupons. I kind of stockpiled for online sales to get this shipped to the house pretty cheap. It's part of the Lord, what do you expect? Like I said, just find some bins and storage stuff and just make it your own. So hopefully this gives you some tips, some ideas. Go for it.